Welcome back to Last Soul. This is Jeremiah, the Cardboard Chef. Thank you for joining me. Now, today, we're going to go over some of the stuff we've been going over recently, PSA and other graded Lorcana. I really wanted to dive into the CGC 10 Pristines today. The reason why is because there are a lot of polarizing sales across the last week. This is, of course, up until November 10th week. So anything posted after this, there might be some more crazy sales. Anyway, let's get into this Elsa. This Elsa went for $15.80 after 14 bids. Super interesting sale. PSA 10 Elsas have been going between 12, 13, and even up to 1400. Now this, technically a PSA, a Pristine 10 is grades a little bit higher. It's closer to a black label, somewhere in between a black label from Beckett and then PSA's 10. Now, I want to go over this Carefree Surfer Enchanted. Now, this is super interesting because this card for PSA 10 used to range between $600 and $700. Now, a Pristine 10 fetching almost double the market price. Now, that is impressive. That is something to watch. And going over here to this Mickey Wayward Sorcerer Pristine 10. This PSA 10 goes for like 300 usually, so double the price is kind of where we're going with these Pristine 10s. Now, this is one I really wanted to show. This is another Pristine 10, Elsa, Spirit of Winter Enchanted, 3,400 fixed price, best offer accepted. Now that is a staggering sale. I've seen a Pristine 10 from the first chapter go for 2,500. My good friend, shout out Pokey Jeff, the homie, he sold his on eBay. This is staggering because this is not an all-time high for Elsa, I believe, but in this market, as we're starting to trend up towards next year, towards whatever our economy is going through, this is an impressive sale, followed by this Maleficent Pristine 10 with some gorgeous artwork from the artist. 4,500 for that. Some more Pristine 10s. Belle, Maui. Now, these are both above market price here. Belle, I think, only goes for like 500-600 for the PSA 10, and Maui for about 300 to 400. I always say buy the card, not the grade, but in the case of investing, you always want to take into consideration the grade, obviously. These Pristine 10s, although not as highly regarded as the black label, do usually fetch more than the PSA 10. So if you're looking for a card for maybe a better deal, you could grab one in a Pristine 10. If someone isn't looking in the market, you could grab one of these gold labels, and they're honestly really nice. The labels are nice. They pair well with some cards. Like, for example, this Hades, another Pristine 10, fetching 405 in a fixed sale. So maybe somebody's collecting these gold labels. Maybe somebody wants to complete the Enchanted set. Anyway, it is super interesting. We have an Aurora, which went up to $855, of course, and another Pristine 10. Now, these are significantly higher than the graded PSA 10 counterparts. Now, why is this happening? Well, the Pristine 10 has maybe like 0.5 or a higher graded rating than the normal Gem Mint PSA 10 or Gem Mint 9.5 from CGC and Beckett, depending on where you go. And although PSA 10 usually has, let's say, grossed the highest amount and usually continues to this day to fetch the higher prices, we now see that Pristine 10s under CGC and black labels fetch way more. And we're going to go back to some PSA sales here. Here is a Belle, 422. Maybe it's a red label. Maybe someone really liked the gold with the Belle and the princesses. I get that. If you're an aesthetic collector, you're really just collecting the slab art. That's totally fine. We have a Cinderella from Floodborn set. The second set, maybe the biggest chase card in that set, 505 for the PSA 10. That card is super interesting. aside from being super playable and, you know, folds in and out of the meta very easily, I'm always watching playable cards when they get graded. PSA 10s, you know, 9.5s. This is why I do these videos, because this stuff is interesting. Playable cards, where they go 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I've watched a lot of cards appreciate over time, being in the games of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. So that's why we're doing these last souls today. Here's another bonkers sale. We have the same Bell CGC 10. Best offer at 310, and the PSA 10 went for a little around the same price again, 443 with 24 bids. We're paying for the same card here, guys. A CGC 10, or SGC 10, I'm sorry. SGC just bought by PSA. Now, the people's branding kind of determine what the pricing is. SGC is a little bit lower, CGC is a little bit higher, PSA is at the top. And then we have these Pristine 10s and these higher graded 10s fetching above that. SGC does have a gold label, and they do have a Pristine, like, I think it's Pristine. Anyway, it has a gold label. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone ever grades a Bell at a gold label, what that price would fetch. 310. It may look like it's underperforming here, but then again, it's all really interesting. Not financial advice, you guys. I just love analyzing the market. We'll get back to you next week. We're going to do some more TCGs, more card games, so stay tuned. Thanks so much. Like, subscribe, and hit up your boy. Peace.